Hello everyone. I'm trying to set this up so you guys can see me. Wait. Okay, right. Hi everybody. Thank you all for joining me on today. Hope you guys had an amazing day. My day thus far has been it's been good. Went to work. I had a lot of paperwork to do today, so I got that out the way. And then I went to spin class, which I absolutely have fallen in love with. I love, shout out to Psychotherapy with Erin, 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. I absolutely love it. I love spin class. So I went to spin class, and now I'm just getting home. I'm a little exhausted, but I wanted to talk to you all. Hi everybody that's joining me. Wow, I didn't expect anybody to listen. So hello Jessica, Tristan, I can't wait to see you next week. Going back to Cali. Hi Darius. Hey Crystal. You guys come joining in. Hey Zelisa. Yes, come spin is amazing. So, because I don't want to be on here for too long. Hey girl. Hi everybody for joining me. Thank you all for the support. Hey beautiful. Hi Crystal. So yes, I wanted to talk to you all about something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's very prevalent in the African American community and in the church. A lot of people. I can't wait to see you. Thanks, girl. I can't wait to see you either. And yes, you guys feel free to talk to me. This is not just me talking. It's all of us discussing mental health or mental illness. A lot of people don't talk about this. So really quickly, my background. So I was born and raised in the church. My mother and father met in the church. They got engaged in the church. Gertie Grace under Bishop Foster. They got married. And then they had my brother. And then they had I. So I was in church all the time, Monday through Friday. Choir rehearsal, Sunday school. I was a true church baby. So that's all I knew was church, right? So growing up in church, one topic we'll talk about, oh, no fornication, oh, this is the sin, this is that, but we never really talked about, hey Michelle, we never really talked about mental health. It was as if it was such a taboo topic. Nothing about mental health. If something was wrong, it was demonic, and mental health is like demonic. And as I'm sitting here 28 and I think back to a lot of people that probably had mental issues, but it still was not talked about in the church. So as I was born and raised in church, and then I started to go through typical things that teenagers went through. And then I started to have a little heaviness. It started in college. And I didn't really understood what it was. I knew that something was going on with me. Like, I'll have really good days, really good days. And then I'll have some really bad days. I will wake up and it would just be heaviness. And then in college, being away from my family, just started to experience little different things. I would cry a lot, and I remember, I would talk to people about it in church, and people would just be like, just pray. That's the spirit of heaviness, the spirit of this, and the spirit of that. And yes, the mental illness can have, it's freezing. Can you guys see me? Can everybody see? Is it freezing? Are you guys able to see me? Michelle, can you see me now? So as I'm going through, sleeping a lot, I'm chalking it up as typical things that a teenager goes through or a college student goes through, that it's typical, right? Because we're in college and you're stressed out and you're finding new friends and things like that. Okay, everybody can see me. So I'm thinking, oh, this is typical because, I have a lot of friends. I'm active in church. By then, I was at Covenant Worship Center with Bishop K.R. Woods. I'm active, but I'm still feeling heavy sometimes. I'm still experiencing symptoms of what I now know as depression. And I will talk to people about it, and they'll say, Chanel, oh, just pray about it. You know, get on the altar. You need deliverance and things like that. And I'm like, I think it's something else. But okay, so I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm praying, and I'm still suffering from all these symptoms. It wasn't until I knew I needed help, I knew something wasn't quite right, but I didn't really know who to talk to. Like, I couldn't really talk to anybody in church. There were no counseling services, and the people I did talk to, they were saying, go pray. I'm praying, it's still not working. So I'm still in school, and as I get into the social work field, I'm finding out a lot about mental illness. And in my mind, because I've been church my whole entire life, I'm thinking, oh, mental illness, you hearing things, and all these vast majority of mental illness. I'm like, oh, just pray it out. Demonic, cast the spirit out. Wasn't until later I realized that mental illness is a little more than casting out demons and a little more than casting out spirits. It's true illness. So flash forward, I moved to Chicago in 2012. And now I'm at New Life Covenant Church with Pastor John Hanna. And I'm there, and now I'm totally by myself. And it seems like the symptoms of depression are getting really, really big. And I happened to be walking in the hallway, and I saw counseling services. And I'm like, what? In a church? Because, you know, in a church, in the African American community, we might see people talking to themselves, oh, they're just crazy or they have issues. We don't really talk about it, right? And I'm like, counseling, maybe I should be able to talk to somebody. Again, I'm very active. I have a circle of friends. I'm working. I had a boyfriend at the time. Like, I'm presumed to be like everything's okay. But behind closed doors, everything wasn't okay. And I did not know how to say I wasn't okay, even though it came out in my actions. It wasn't until one time, it had been a really good day, and I was outside the car, and I just started crying. And I remember talking to my mom on the phone. I was like, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm crying. And of course, you know, my mom being an amazing person that she is, the mother she is, she's like, pray, Chanel, to the scriptures. And I'm like, Mom, there's something more going on. So I started going to counseling. Our church offered 8 free counseling services. In my very first session, I was diagnosed with depression. I was also diagnosed with anxiety. And I was like, no, me, Chanel, the one that everyone gets together and laughing, I have a mental illness. I'm supposed to be a social worker. I'm helping people. I go to church. I pray. I'm anointed. I could go in. I speak in tongues. You're telling me that I have a mental illness? You're telling me that I have anxiety? And I knew I suffered from anxiety attacks, but I just thought it was just because, you know, things that we begin to be very overwhelming, and I would just, you know, start panicking and anxiety, and I'll just, you know, be like, okay, breathe, Chanel, get it together, and then I'll be okay. But to sit in her office, a doctor's office, and have her tell me, Christian counselor like this, have her tell me that I was suffering from depression, and I was suffering from anxiety, borderline anxiety disorder, really just, it pushed me to a place that it was okay for me to say that I was no longer okay. I have been hiding for 24 years, more so I'll say 6 years in my life, battling these things, no one to talk to. And for the first time, I was okay to say that I wasn't okay. And it was okay for me to say that I have mental illness. But I'm still looking for help, and nobody's talking about it. Not in the African American, in our own community, not at the church. Thankfully, I was at the church with a counseling services, but I'm thinking back, and even as I'm talking to my friends at my old church, and I'm really not trying to throw any shade at anybody or anybody's churches or anything, but we did not talk about mental illness. So now, as I'm older, I'm like, we need to talk about this, because as I start to speak out, as I start to shame the enemy, I found out that I was not by myself. It was so many other people suffering with depression. So many people others suffering, not just bipolar, schizophrenia, so many other things, so many people suffering with mental illness, so many people lying saying that I'm okay and they're really not okay. And I'm thankful that as I started to speak out, other people was like, who's your counselor? Where you go? Things like that. So I just want to tell you all today, if you're not okay, it is okay to not be okay. Like I said, I can pray, I speak in tongues, I believe in God, but I still struggle sometimes. And that's okay. I still have some dark days, and I still have some days that I'm struggling. I have to calm myself down and quit from panicking. But I know what my triggers are, and now I can go and receive the help that I need. Also, I'm not gonna cry. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to take off the mask in ministry, working, at church. It's okay to not be okay. And I just want to sit here and tell you all that it's okay. I still smile, I still laugh, but now I get help. And if there's anybody else on this line that is not okay, get help for today, please. And I realize that as a social worker, I see a lot. So I do need somebody to talk to because I'm always the one people come to talk to. So I tell those counselors out there, those social workers, those like me who see a lot, it's okay. And I'm sweating because I had to turn off the air conditioner. It's hot. That is okay. But I really wanted to let this video know that, say in this video that, last year I received a phone call, or I call home all the time. And I said, Mom, I always talk like, Mom, what you doing? Where's your dad? Your dad's struggling right now. Now, those who know my dad knows that he is a believer. He loves God. He can quote this word. But now my daddy's struggling. I received a phone call last month with my mother crying, and I'm being so transparent right now, so y'all just lift me up. Saying that my father was missing. Coming to find out that my dad has also been struggling with mental illness. So for me, I was like, Lord, not again, not again. But the thing is, my father is not receiving help because it's still a spiritual thing with him. He's like, I'm still praying, God got it. My father did come back home after a couple days. And in my mind, I believe he has schizophrenia, but he is not getting help right now. So I ask that you all continue to pray for me that my father gets help with his mental illness and that my mom gets all the support that she needs. Because again, as I talk to them, it's still a church thing. It's still a spiritual thing. But my dad needs real life help. And it's caused me to speak out more. And it's caused me to seek help more. So as my father dealt with this illness and we deal with it together, I just want to let anyone know that it's on here watching that if you're struggling with a mental illness, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you're less than anybody. And it's okay to not be okay. If you have a family member like me, sorry, y'all. I thought my situation, my life, that I can deal with this. But now I watch my father I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be up here crying. It's just, it's hard. And those close to me know that what I've been dealing with. And a lot of people don't know, but I know I'm not the only one struggling. Not only with my own depression and my own mental illness, but watching now my father struggle and knowing that he can get the help that he needs, but we're still, stuck on the stigma. It just causes me now more than ever to want to speak out. When I was going to do this video, I was so nervous because I was like, what are people going to think? Because, those who really see me, you always see me with a smile on my face. You always, see me laughing in ministry, ministering to other people, praying for other people. But behind closed doors for the last 2 years, I have been dealing with family. I've been dealing with my father and with my dad. So I just say that we continue to destroy the stigma of mental illness. And in our families, we push them and we help them to get the help that he needs. I still believe God. And I still believe that even though my dad doesn't think he needs help, and when he goes into his episodes where he's in a manic schizophrenia moment, that God would just open up his eyes and say that it's okay to not be okay. I can pray, but I need to go talk to somebody. That's it. So in this journey, my mom said something that really stuck me last week. She said, Chanel, I never thought that I would have to go through this. And I thought about it and I was like, no, me either, Mom. But I realized that me going through depression and anxiety and now trying to help my father be well, that God is using my tears. He's using what I'm going through to help other people. And to be able to do this video to let you know that if you're feeling like you're not okay, stay on the altar, stay in prayer. But there's counselors out there to help you. Look up a counseling agency. If you want to know information about my counselor, you can just text me or email me. And I'll give you information about my counseling because I can be honest, counseling helped save my life. Literally. I was taking sleeping medication. I would take a bottle of sleeping meds within 2 days just to help me sleep. I never wanted to kill myself. This is my first time saying that. But there was times that I wanted to go to sleep and not wake up because there was just so much darkness. Counseling helped me get through that. It helped me uproot the issues, and it helped me to identify my triggers and do different exercises to help me get through this. With prayer. I don't ever want to say stop praying and stay away from the altar, but I also want to say seek counseling. Counseling is okay. There are African American counselors. There are people out there to help you. And let's stop this right now. Because growing up, my mom might be mad. She'll be okay. It was what happens in our house stays in our house, right? You're suffering by yourself. Throw all that out the window. You can trust them. It's a safe, confidential space. You might not be bold like me and be able to talk to everybody. But throw that everything in the house stays in the house because you're staying bound. God does not want us to be bound. He gives us freedom. He wants us to be free. And we're free Number one, by finding freedom in God, but finding freedom in the people he places on this earth. I don't believe that God would have put counselors on this earth, psychologists, therapists on this earth, and he knew that we didn't need them. We go back to the biblical terms, you know, we deal with Elisha and the prophet Elijah. He dealt with suicidal thoughts. There are a lot of people, David dealt with depression. They got through it. God placed his people on this earth, so we don't have to go through it alone. So I just got on here just to tell you all, because it's heavy in my heart, that I love you guys too, that I know I'm not the only one dealing with depression. I know that I'm not the only one dealing with mental illness. I know some of you all are out there too. You guys don't have to stay by yourselves. Find counselors, find people you can talk to. And if you have family members, push them to get help. Let them know that they're not by themselves. Let them know if they don't want to get help, like my father doesn't yet. I'm still yet and believe God. Pray with me that people will be able to get help. Prayer plus counseling equals change and freedom. Yes, prayer plus counseling getting freedom. Also stay with me that we continue to tear down the stigma. So if you guys see somebody battling, see somebody talking to themselves to things, don't be derogatory. Don't be like, oh, he's crazy. Don't be like, or she's crazy. Don't be like, they have issues. Don't call them that. Just begin to pray that they seek help. That's one thing for me, that when I was going through my friends would call me crazy, and that would hurt my feelings. That would really hurt me, because I knew I wasn't crazy. I just knew I get help. So when we say these things to people, it causes them to not want to get help. So everybody that's listening, please join with me in saying we're not going to call anyone crazy anymore. We're not going to laugh at anybody. We're not going to do that, but we're going to ask them, do they need help? So, as I end this video, I have a smile face because I thank you all for joining me, and I thank you that we continue to tear down the stigma. And it's just it can be grief. So if you lost somebody and you're grieving, that's a mental illness. It can be not trusting someone. It can be something traumatic happened into your life, whether you were raped or sexually abused or molested. It could be if you see yourself OCD, if you just, everything has to be in order, and if it's not in order, it's the correct, it's so many different things. I actually have a book, because I'm a social worker. It's called a DSM-5. You see how thick this book is? These are all the mental disorders that we have. It's called, oh, guys can't see it, but it's called the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. You see how thick this book is? Meaning, it's so many things out there. So many things we don't know about because we don't talk about them. So, as I close this book, I just say, let's continue to turn down the stigma in the African American community and in the church. If you're at a church that doesn't have counseling services, maybe suggest to your pastor, because I guarantee you, people in ministry struggle too. Hello, hands raised. I'll say this again. People in ministry, the same people that are singing, the same people that are praying, the same people that are laying hands, they're struggling as well. They might not be struggling what I'm struggling with or what you're struggling, but they're struggling. So suggest that you have a counseling ministry. New Life, those who go to New Life have counseling. They have 8 free counseling services. I know a counselor, Pastor Tim Lane. He at Peter Rock Church, he's a great Christian counselor. If you want to still stay in the realm, you can still do Christian counseling. He's great. I think he's like $25. It's not much an hour, but he'll help. In our community, people don't talk about it, but search mental health counselors. There are counselors out there. Just we all need somebody to talk to. So, as I continue to just speak about my story, and this is just a small piece because I can go deeper and deeper and deeper, but I just want us to think about it is okay to not be okay. And I'm okay that I'm not okay sometimes. And I'm okay that my father is not okay too. But he will be okay. And I'm actually starting a group. This is a new thing. Starting a group for those whose parents are dealing with mental illness, because we all need to support each other. Because as I was going through my own thing, and my father now is going through his thing, I'm like, we're support. We need support. So I'm actually starting children or families with people that have mental illnesses in their families. So be on the lookout at that school. As Brandy said, she knows a black practice in Beverly. So there's a practice in Beverly. And I want to be all healthcare plans offer counseling services too. Great, Jessica. So my big sister Jessica said that all healthcare offer counseling services too. Most are covered under current healthcare insurance. So check them out. See, call and ask where the counselors at. How do I get on the list? If your church doesn't have one, suggest that your church open counselors, because there are a lot of counselors and a lot of social workers out there. I can be honest. I used to work with in a psychiatrist's office, and everybody that came in to either get meds or seek help were Caucasian or non-African American descent. And it started me to be like, why? So let's stop that, you guys. Let's stop the stigma that it's just a Caucasian issue. It's an African American issue too. So let's stop that. And Medicaid. So Stephanie says Medicaid has counseling as well. Okay, so as I continue to educate myself and as I continue to go through my own journey, I'll come back on here and I'll share. I'm actually going home to California next week to really just check on my dad, to check on my mom, and hopefully together as a family, we can go and take him to get some help. Right, mental illness has no color. Honey, it has no color, no gender, no race, no ethnicity. Mental illness strikes everybody. There's a lot of people out there that are not okay. But it's okay. So as I close, I just want to say I thank you all for sharing me. Thank you for allowing me to be transparent and share what's on my heart. And I hope to come back. Hey, Nicole. I hope to come back and give you all a testimony on my dad, on how he went to go get help and how he's getting help. And how he is having no more episodes and he's not leaving the house anymore and he's back to himself. So you guys be in prayer with me, and I'll bring prayer with you also. If anyone know any resources out in Sacramento, California, I'll be home next week, so we can research those resources, and I can talk to my family. We can come together and stand up as a family and say that it's okay that our family isn't okay. Yes, the preaching family, the anointed family, it's okay that we're not okay, but we will be okay with prayer and counseling services. So I love you all. Thank you, Ashley. I can't wait to hear the other testimonies on how other people realized that they weren't okay and they received help, how they had family members that realized they weren't okay and that they received help. And together we'll continue to tackle down mental health in the African American community and destroy the stigma and have better people be okay. Thank you, Jessica. I pray my dad is open too. This thing has been rough. It's been rough. But whatever God gives us, we'll get through it. Our family has gotten through a lot. And this is just a small piece. So my daddy will be okay. He will. I have to stop myself from panicking and stand on the word of God that this too shall pass. So I love you all. And I can't wait to see you all later. And bye.